All right, hi everybody. Just getting things rolling, but we got a few minutes till 11:30. So welcome back. Hope you guys are doing well. Today it's the 16th of September, Wednesday. So we'll get our meeting going right around 4 minutes, and then we'll be good to go for today. But I hope you guys are doing well and have a good start to your day so far. Anybody who's here, feel free to say hi. At any point, just use the chat to ask any questions or just to say hello. Hi, Maya. Good to see you there. Hey, Rachel, Yvette, Nathaniel. Good to see everybody. Alexis, John. Cool. Good morning. Nice to see you there. This air quality is such a bummer. I really am just itching to go out and go for a run or something, but I kind of don't want to do it until the air quality improves to below 100 AQI. But, time will tell how long it takes. 1 second. I just got to grab something. I'll be right back. Okay. Cool. Hello, everybody. Hi, Valeria, Jessica, Melissa, Jamie, and everyone else. Nice to see you guys. Everybody can hear me and see me. Connection is good. Connection stable. I had a little Wi-Fi outage earlier in the day. This is a rare thing, so just making sure. Seems like we're all good. Okay, just another minute or so. Allow everybody time to arrive to the meeting. Hi, Alicia. Good to see you there. Arlene, good to have you back. Jasmine, hey there. Hi, Natalie. Samir, good to see you. Hey, Josephine. Hello, Brenna. Okay. Just under a minute, and then I'll get us going. Hey, Giselle. Hey, Ruby. And Amari. Emily. Isaiah. Cool, guys. All right, well, welcome back. It's now 11:30, so good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a great day so far. Let me just make a few mentions as we get the class started. So everyone should know, hopefully you didn't forget that the homework is due today, the first homework. So hopefully it's already been delivered to my inbox. For every submission that I'm receiving, I'm sending back a confirmation email to the students individually. So you should have received it if you send it to me, And the only case in which maybe I hadn't gotten to it yet is if you sent it in the last like 30 minutes or so. I think I checked up on all my emails as recently as the beginning of the hour. So anything that might have come in last minute, I can still give you a confirmation, and I will right after class when I go back to my emails during my office hours. My office hours are 1:30 to 2:30 every Monday, Wednesday. So any leftover messages that I haven't confirmed yet, I'll do them before the office hours done today. So yeah, you guys have finished your first homework. I'm happy that we're all done with that. The next thing what we'll look forward to is homework problem set number 2. I'm going to distribute that next week. Over the weekend, I'm going to grade everyone's first homework, and I'm going to also provide the answer key. So you'll see the answer key, and then you can check with me for your individual score and comments if you would like. And so you'll know heading into next week, what your score is for the first assignment. And then we just keep going forward in the class. So any questions about any of those topics or just administrative matters? Yeah, you guys will figure out a group chat if you can on your own. You're definitely encouraged to try if possible, but that's on you guys. So other questions though from me? Nothing for now. Everything's clear. Okay. Well, if you didn't turn in your homework yet, I would just say please get it to me today if you can, because I'm going to have to deduct credit if it comes in late, and the later and later that it comes in, then the more and more deduction of credit it would result in. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know about this whole group chat thing that I see you guys talking about over here in the live cast, but you'll figure it out on your own, I'm sure. So then, yeah, let's go back over some of the things that we were doing last time. Right now, we're on to the topic of symbolizations in this class. So what we're trying to learn now is how to convert statements from English into the symbolic language of SL. Rachel, you say you turned it in twice but haven't gotten a response? Really? When's the initial submission? I'm going into my emails right now in a different window, okay? I'm going to look for yours. So just give me 1 second, Rachel. Okay, now, Rachel, what's your last name? That way I can put it into my search bar. So just let me know. Alicia, you also, I'll check on yours. So to Alicia Verada, while Rachel's trying to type in her last name, if she can, I'm going to check on yours, okay? Koval, okay. How are you guys sending these? Are you doing it through Titanium, or are you doing it as a real email? How did you send it? Rachel Koval, I did send you a confirmation though. I sent it to you this morning at 10:55 a.m. So yeah, you already got a confirmation, Rachel. So you'll look in your email inbox and you'll see from 10:55 the timestamp where I said thank you and I received your assignment. Alicia Verada, let me check on yours one time again. Rachel, we have hers. Nothing from Alicia. Alicia, you got to go to your sent message. Please look at the address that you attempted to deliver the message to and type it into the chat so that I can see exactly how you spelled it. Maybe you misspelled something because I don't have a message from you, Alicia, actually. And I would have had it in case it mailed it to me. Yeah. Double checking one other place. Sorry, everybody. I'm just trying to make sure everyone's fully settled with this first assignment. Yeah. Well, Rachel, we settled your case. Alicia, I don't have anything coming from you. You have to resend it then. It'll be on time if you do, but no successful delivery has happened in your case. Yeah, definitely don't have it. So I have to just resend. Let me double check, actually, one more thing. No, no, don't have it. So, yeah, in your case, we got to do a reset. All right, everybody. So let's go back over some of these notes and review from last time what we did. Rachel, you noticed my response, right? Let me just get your confirmation so that I know that you saw that. Okay, so while you're doing that, I'm going to talk to our class. So we are now in the process of trying to learn how to symbolize statements from English and translate them into the symbolic language SL. Okay, good, Rachel. In order to do that, we have to use certain symbols and connectives. So we translate by creating a symbolization key. We designate a capital letter of the alphabet for individual sentences that are coming from the argument or the statement that you're trying to translate. So like if you had the sentence, John has a dog, you know, it might be just letter J or D, depending on your choice. After you've designated the sentence letters, you then reconstruct the sentence into SL by means of the sentence letters and the logical connectives. Now, the connectives that we've learned are these 4, and there's one more to go over today to finish up all the 5 connectives. So there's the symbol for and. This can also be the ampersand, okay? There's the symbol for or. That's the wedge. So for and, we can use either the ampersand or the caret symbol. For or, we use just the wedge. For not, we use the tilde symbol, tilde. For if then, we use 2 possible options. You can use the arrow or you can use a horseshoe. And there's one more connective now that we have to learn, and that is called the biconditional. Okay. So that's all a review. We'll go over those again, but just as a quick reminder, when you have a statement that is of the form of a conjunction, something like A and B, for that kind of statement to be true, A and B, how many of the 2 conjuncts have to be true? For a statement of the form both A and B to be true, how many of 2 different conjuncts in the compound expression have to be true exactly? They both have to be. So if one is false or if both are false, then that would be a false conjunction. Like if I tell you right now that I'm wearing glasses and I'm wearing a hat, that's a false statement because it says both, but I'm only wearing glasses, I'm not wearing a hat, so that would be incorrect. So on the other hand, if I tell you that I am both wearing glasses and a watch, that's a true conjunction because those 2 facts both exist and they're both true. So with a conjunction of 2 conjuncts, the overall expression is only true when both of the individual components are true. Or, the way an or expression looks would be like this, A or B. Okay? Now with a disjunction, a statement which says either A or B, how many of the 2 disjuncts are required to be true for the whole sentence to be true? Like if I tell you that I will either go for a run today or I will just stay in my apartment. When I say either or, the claim is true in case how many disjuncts are true? Just 1, okay? So if I tell you, and this is true, I'm either gonna go for a run after I'm done teaching, or if the air quality is not good enough, I'm not gonna go out and I'm just gonna stay in my apartment. So if I choose to stay in my apartment and not go on the run, then that's the one disjunct that turned out being true. And so it was a true statement because I said either one or the other. And if I go out for a run, then that would be a true disjunct and it would still render the overall or statement true. The only way that a disjunction is false is when both disjuncts are false. So if I say to you, I'll either go for a run or stay in my apartment, that's only false if, like, I don't know, I go out to a restaurant and I don't do either of those 2 things. Then it would be neither true that I went for a run nor that I had stayed in. Okay, now the third is not. These are what we call negations. And a negation is just attached to some expression on its right, like, for example, not A. The statement that not A would be true if A was false, right? So like if I tell you, I'm not wearing a hat, that is true. Because if we detach the tilde and we just have I am wearing a hat, that is false. So to deny that I'm wearing a hat would be to say something true. And that's what a negation does. A negation denies the statement that the tilde is attached to. A negation statement is false if the expression that the tilde is attached to is true. So if I tell you I'm not wearing glasses, that's not That's false, because the statement that I am wearing glasses is true. So to deny what's true is to say something false. To deny what's false is to say something true. So that's how negations work. And then there's if-then, okay? Now, if-then, we can write it as such. A arrow B, or to go with the textbook's option, A horseshoe B. Now, the way that we read off this type of sentence is we say if A, then B. The thing that is to the left in the conditional is known as the antecedent, and the thing that is on the right is the consequent. The antecedent is sort of the fact that if it turns out to be true, would lead to the outcome of the consequent. So like if I fall off my bike, then I will scrape my knee. The antecedent would be falling off of the bike, and the consequent resulting would be the injury to the person's knee. Now, with these if-then statements, there's only one case where they are false. Okay, so what would have to be the case for if A then B to be a false conditional, a false hypothetical? It's only under one condition. What's the combination of truth values of the two components? So a conditional, you have to say more Leo. It has to be not just that the consequent is false, but at the same time that the antecedent is true. So this would be a false conditional when you have a true antecedent and a false consequent. So like if I told you that if I fall off my bike, I'll scrape my knee, that would be a false claim if falling off the bike didn't produce any injury. Say I'm wearing knee pads, then falling off the bike would not lead to any scrape of the knee, and thus in that case it would be false that if I fall, then I will scrape my knee. So the combination of values assigned to the two parts have to be T on the left and F on the right in order for it to be a false conditional. All other combinations of truth value assignment make it a true conditional. So if it's true going to true, true. False to false, false to true, all those are true instances of the conditional. But it's only false under the one situation mentioned. We have if A, true, then B, but B is false. And then one more quick point. I told you that we have two symbols that we allow for the term and. So we could have also written this as such, A, ampersand, B. And in the book, they're using the ampersand, but since it's easier for me to draw a caret, I sometimes go with a caret. Okay, so that's review. Now we're going to add one more connective, and that gives us a total of 5. So there's the symbol for and, the symbol for or, the symbol for not, the symbol for if, and now one more. So the last of the 5 connectives is what's called the biconditional. Okay. Now the biconditional is basically a combination of two conditionals put together. It's equivalent to saying, okay, so the symbol is itself a triple bar, okay, and this stands for the part of speech if and only if. If and only if. Sometimes we will encounter the phrase just in case, so that's another possible way that this could be interpreted in English, as the phrase just in case. Now, the standard symbolism is the triple bar, but there's sometimes also a different symbol that can be used, and I just want to give you guys 2 options on this. So triple bar is one, but I know that it's kind of hard to create a triple bar. It is just 3 straight lines. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and you'll see it in the book listed as that. But it's kind of hard sometimes on a keyboard to find that symbol. I mean, a person could use, I guess, like the equals symbol, and we would be able to like just use that informally in our class, knowing that it stands for the triple bar. So you can use that, or at UCLA they had us do double arrow. So it's like the conditional arrow, except it's pointing on both sides. So you can use the triple bar. On a keyboard, I'll let you use the equal symbol. or a double arrow. To create a double arrow, I guess, if you ever want to, you'd have the left angled arrow, a couple of dashes, and then the right arrow like this. Okay? So anyway, whichever symbol we choose, those are the options which stand for if and only if. So in terms of making this into a sentence of English and then converting it into the logical language, let me give you an example. Superman will die if and only if he touches kryptonite. Okay, I'm just giving you this sentence here as an example for us to model the symbol now, or to like engage with the symbol and learn about it. So what it says is that Superman, the superhero, you know, he will die, but when? If and only if he touches kryptonite. So tell me, what could be a sentence letter to symbolize for the first component of this biconditional statement? So it's a binary connective, the biconditional. It connects two letters, one on the left and one on the right. So Ruby, good. Let's use the letter S to stand for what? That Superman will die. And let's have a letter then for the other part. Superman touches kryptonite. What do you think could be for that one? I have a thought. What do you think? K? Okay, good. K. K. Superman touches kryptonite. Okay, sorry, it's kind of a little cramped there, but S standing for Superman will die, K stands for Superman touches kryptonite. So now to translate this into SL, since we have a symbolization key, who can say in the chat here how this expression would then be stated in our language of SL? It will look like starting from left to right. S, double arrow, or triple bar K. Exactly. So we're looking at this now. S, K. Or if you like, S triple bar K. This is the preferred usage of the book, but they're going to be treated as equivalent for us. And what this says is Superman will die, S, if and only if he touches kryptonite. Now, the what's being stated in this type of expression is actually a conjunction of two conditionals. So let me explain that a little bit now. So the biconditional statement is logically equivalent to a conjunction of two conditionals. So this statement here, S, if and only if K, is equivalent to these two things. S, if S then K, and if K then S. So what this double arrow means is that there's a conditional going from one side to the other and from the other side back. So it essentially means that if S then K, and also that if K then S. So like, for example, if Superman dies, then he touched kryptonite. Also, if he touched kryptonite, then he dies. So there's like a double arrow effect because one fact is an antecedent which leads to that consequent. And the consequent itself is something that would have caused this. So they're the antecedent and the consequent of each other. It's a mashup of two conditionals put together, but to make it less complicated looking, this big expression, we simply abbreviate and we use the biconditional symbol for that. So yeah, like another example, I will pass the class if and only if I get an A on the final. All right, so imagine that. It would be like P for pass the class, triple bar, A for A on the final. And what it means is that, take this student's situation as a case to imagine. If they pass the class, then that means that they got an A on the final because they need the A to get to pass. And if they get an A on the final, that means that they passed the class. Now, there could be a student who is like, getting an A on the final will let me pass the class, but I could also pass the class without an A on the final. Like I could get a B on the final and I would still pass the class. So in that student's case, it's not really true that if they pass, then they got an A on the final, because an A is sufficient but not necessary for them. But for a student who needs that A to even be qualified to be eligible to pass, then the left to right hypothetical is the case, that if they passed, then they must have got an A on the final. And if they did get an A on the final, that does mean that they passed. So you can have a conditional that points to one side and it doesn't point back. That's the regular conditional. But when both sides jointly entail the other side of the expression, that's called the biconditional. Biconditional means two conditionals, like binary. So it's an expression which states that there's two conditionals that lead to each other in terms of the antecedent and the consequent, both being in both roles. Okay, now I want to show you the truth table for the biconditional, like I also showed you the truth table for the other four connectives. So this has its own little logic. And now as we're learning how to create truth tables, let's remember the procedure. You start by drawing a cross. Okay? And in the top right part of the cross, you put the expression that you would like to analyze. So let it be A, double arrow or triple bar B. A, just in case, B. Up here on the top left, what is going to be written there? In what order? You can tell me. Up here on top left. A, B, correct. So we just alphabetically list all the letters that we see up here on the top right. Now, how many overall rows are there going to be in this truth table? There's going to be a total number of 4 of them, right? Because there's 2 sentence letters, and you basically just create as many rows as taking the number of sentence letters and raising it to the power of 2. So 2 to the power of 2 is 4. That means that underneath A, we create a vertical column going downward. And since it's going to have 4 items, the top half are T's, and the bottom half are F's. And then as we move to the next successive vertical column, we have 4 items, but they alternate with double the frequency. So this is alternating 2 by 2. 2 T's, 2 F's. The next one will have 1 by 1. So TF, TF. And just understand, okay, that all the reason that we have that operation is to showcase all possible assignments of T and F in the combination of these 2 sentence letters. So one case is that they're both true. Another case is that A is true and B is false. The third possibility, A false, B true. And finally, the fourth option, that they're both false. Now, to complete the truth table, we simply place the truth value assignments for A and B in each horizontal row. Okay, so now let me just teach you this piece of information. The biconditional is true in 2 cases here, and it's false in 2 cases. So we're going to draw an arrow pointing down above the main connective, which is the biconditional symbol. And now we're going to show the 2 cases where it's true and the 2 cases where it's false. So biconditional is true up here in this situation, where the 2 sentence letters on left and right are both true. It's also true when they're both false, okay? But it's false in these other 2 combinations. So the easy rule of thumb, if you can remember this, is that the biconditional is true when the truth value of the 2 sides match. They have to both be T's or both be F's. But if one is F and one is T, then the statement is false. And if one is false and the other is true, vice versa, then it's false. So you have to have matching truth values on the 2 sides, okay? Suppose, for example, that I told you I'll pass the class if and only if I get an A on the final, right? Now, what would make that a true claim? Well, one way of making it a true claim is you pass the class and you did get an A on the final. So the expression is true. But say that you did not pass the class, and you did not get an A on the final, then that would still be a true biconditional, because the biconditional doesn't say you'll pass. It says, I will pass just in case, if and only if I get an A on the final. So if you don't get an A on the final, and that's false, then it's also false that you passed, okay? Which makes the claim itself a true claim. So the two sides have to stand or fall together. When I say that I'll pass if and only if I get an A on the final, that means that me passing requires me to get an A, and me getting an A means that I pass. On the other hand, if I don't pass, then the claim means I didn't get an A on the final. Or if I did not get an A on the final, then I didn't pass. But it would be a false assertion if these two things, either one was true. Suppose that the student says, I'm going to pass if and only if I get an A on the final. But the way it turns out is that they passed, and they actually got a B on the final. Maybe the professor curved everybody, so they spoke something incorrect. It wasn't really true that they needed that A on the final to pass. So if you could pass without getting an A on the final, then it was not true in the first place that I will pass just in case, if and only if I get the A. And here's another case. Suppose that the person did get an A on the final. This would be pretty evil, right? I don't know if it's evil. It depends on what they knew about the standing they had in the class. But suppose they said, I'll pass if and only if I get an A on the final. Well, as it turns out, they aced the final, but they still didn't pass the class. In that case, it wasn't really true either, that they will pass if and only if they get an A on the final. And to our Superman example, it said, Superman will die if and only if he touches kryptonite. Well, that's a true claim under these two conditions. He touches the kryptonite and he dies. That would make the two different individual sentence letters true, and it would make the overall expression true. Another case, Superman never touched the kryptonite, and he also never died. So it's still true, though, because it says he'll die only if and only if he touches kryptonite. So not touching the kryptonite means that him dying also did not happen. But it would be false, and we would learn something new, I guess, about Superman if either of these two cases happened. So he died, but he never touched kryptonite. So that means that it's not true that he'll die if and only if he touches kryptonite. Or he didn't die, but he did touch kryptonite. In this case, it's not true going the other direction. Okay, so it's true when both of the atomic sentences that flank the binary connective of the biconditional. It's true when both of the atomic sentences have the truth value T or both have the truth value F. In other words, when they are both true or both false, that makes this type of expression a true one. But when they mismatch, it's like a matching pair of socks, right? They got to both be T or both be F, but if one is off from the other, then that makes the expression false. Andre, so it's true when you say the condition both ways, and it is correct. I mean, your question is in a way poorly stated, but it's true when both of the atomic sentences that are component parts of the biconditional have the same truth value, okay? So they have to have the same truth value. And there's two possible truth values, true and false. So they're either going to match or they're not. There's two ways that they can match, by both being T or both being F. And there's two ways they can mismatch, by having one be T and the other F, or vice versa. Okay, good. So that's the material biconditional. Now I want to tell you guys a little bit about some indicator words in language that translate into these symbols of logic. Okay, so I'm erasing here. So let me give you some common English words that are translated by means of the conjunction symbol. The conjunction symbol. So conjunction symbol is either and or the ampersand. All right, so that's and. But it's not only the term and. Can you think of any other word that is got a meaning similar to and? Maybe you're not going to come up with it, I guess, actually, because I don't want to throw you off too much. So, well, also is good. Exactly, Evelyn. So if I say A, also B, like I'm walking to class, also I'm hungry, that would be a conjunction. So that's good. There's also, now this is one that doesn't, to. You could use that. It could be like, I'm hungry, but you couldn't say to without the word and, right? You couldn't be like, I'm hungry, to, I'm thirsty. It would be, and I'm thirsty too. And so you would still get the word and. So to really can't be used grammatically without a different conjunction word supplementing it. but that's a fair suggestion. But if you follow me, it's probably a little awkward to put it there. As well as, that could work. Let me think. I'm riding a bike as well as eating a sandwich. Yeah, you could say that. Kind of hard to do, I guess, but some people can ride around with no hands at all. So let me give you some others that are definitely used all the time. There's but, term but. Now you might not have thought that was a conjunction word, but it actually is. In everyday language, but implies like a contrast. Like if I say to you, I got all this money, but I'm not happy. That's a conjunction, and it would be saying what two things? Number one, I have a lot of money, but I'm not happy. Now, but implies like a contrast, like it's a surprise that the second thing is true given the first. Like I have a pet dog, but he doesn't like to go for walks or something like you wouldn't expect. Now, it's simply though in logic, we don't care about the contrastive element of it. It just says, here's another fact. So like if I tell you that my car's broken, but I'm still gonna go to work, I'm really just saying, both my car is broken and I'm going to go to work. So both is but is another one. There's also however. And that's another one that in ordinary speech implies that there's some kind of contrast going on, but it also just logically amounts to a conjunction word. Like if I say, I didn't study, however, I still think I'm going to do good on the test. That's saying that I did not study and I will do good on the test. So however just brings two facts together. I've never had a cavity, however I'm going to the dentist. You know, I've never had a cavity and I'm going to go to the dentist. Same thing. Okay, you can also have although. Although I'm tired, I'm still going to work. That just means what? I am tired and I'm going to go to work. So another example of a conjunction word that maybe sometimes we don't think of as being a conjunction word. There's nevertheless. Yeah, like have a lot of clothes, nevertheless, I don't know what to wear. I have a lot of clothes and I do not know what to wear would be equivalent to that expression logically. Okay, so I'm just giving you a sort of random assortment of words that can also be translated into these symbols. So like if you're looking at an English sentence and the book or a problem set asks you to convert it into the language of SL, be alert to the knowledge that these words will be symbolized by means of either of those connectives. With, I see your comment, Drawing Red. I don't know though, how would it be stated in a grammatical sentence? I own a cat with a dog. I mean, that's kind of a weird way to talk or whatever, but I guess that's kind of what you're thinking. Like, this is with that, so there's two things together. But not in every type of conjunction statement will be used with. Like, I could just say, I have ice cream with whipped cream topping. That's not really a conjunction because it can just be said as I have this whipped ice cream. So I don't know, with is a little confusing, I think. Therefore, I just want to leave it off. But yeah, it makes some reasonable sense. Nonetheless, I want to limit us to at least a few things. Okay, so that's for conjunction. Now, there's also some common words that substitute for or. All right, so or is symbolized by means of this wedge symbol. With or, you know, the most common alternative to it is actually the term unless, even though we don't always use them interchangeably. But unless is also equivalent to or. Like if I say that the plant will die unless I water it, that means the same thing as either the plant will die or I will water it. If one of those things is false, then the other must be true, but they can't both be false. So if I don't water it, then they will die. And if they don't die, then I did water them. So or can be either the simple word or it could be treated by means of unless. And that is fair either way. Okay, so then after that, there's also if then. So if then is symbolized by either the horseshoe or we're kind of mostly using the arrow. Other common expressions that symbolize by means of the arrow. There's also, so this is a little weird. Let me get this clear to you. If I say the sentence, if I run, then I will sweat, then that is interpreted as follows, R then S. If I run, then I will sweat. But what if I say, I will, let me think about this, a good example for you. I will vote if, I don't have work on the day of the election. Okay, you heard me? Maybe I shouldn't put the word not in there because that's going to make it weird. I will vote if I'm free on election day. You heard that example? How would that be symbolized? First of all, give me the 2 sentence letters. I will vote if I'm free on election day. What could be 1 sentence letter to symbolize that and translate it into logic? I will vote if I'm free on election day. So V is for I will vote. And the other letter to get, I will vote if I'm free on election day. So you guys want to give F. All right, F, I'm free on election day. Now, how do you think that one would be symbolized? The sentence is, I will vote if I'm free on election day. So how will you symbolize this statement into SL? Just write it out using our symbols and the letters that we've provided in the today. Good, Lily. Very good. You noticed that what's the antecedent? It's F. So Ruby, that's the point. Look above and see Lily's comment. The actual antecedent is not the first thing that occurs in the English sentence, because the antecedent of the statement is logically what causes the other thing, or what comes first. So this person is actually saying that if I'm free on election day, then I'll vote. Okay? I will vote if what? This is the if part, and this is the then part that will happen in case that occurs. So this is actually F arrow V. So if you have a statement that says Q if P, like I'll run if I get new shoes, that is S arrow R. Evelyn, you're saying that there's some type of loading issue. Can anybody confirm? Is there some problem with the stream, or are we good? Lagging for a little while? Sorry to hear that. Is it better now or not? It's back? Okay, yeah. You know, sometimes bandwidth and Wi-Fi connection can kind of be a little bit better or worse. Ruby, you say you're still experiencing it, or is it better? Some are saying it's better now. So I guess I'll just have to carry on. But I think that the consensus seems to be that it's improved a little, at least for most. Do let me know, though, because if there's something that got lost or that you would like me to repeat, I'm always happy to go right back. Okay, guys? Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, just pay attention to what the real antecedent is in the conditional. That's what I'm telling you. If it starts with the word if, then that's the antecedent. But whatever follows the word if is always the antecedent, even if the word if occurs midway through the statement. So like, I'll vote if I'm free on election day. We interpret this to be the antecedent and the first part of the sentence to be the consequent. There's also this weird thing about the term only if. Okay, so let me write this on the board real quick and give you a little bit more information on that. All right, so if we have an expression that says if P then Q, that is symbolized as P arrow Q. if we have an expression that says P if Q, right, like in the English that I just gave you, I'll vote if I'm free on election day. What's the first letter in this reconstruction of this into logic? P if Q, instead of if P then Q. Q. Okay. Now there's this one other, and there could be other words aside from if. Like if I say P provided that Q, like I will run provided that somebody gives me new shoes. That means that if somebody gives me new shoes, then I'll run. So provided that, given that, I will vote given that I'm free on that day. So if I'm free on that day, then I will vote. That would reverse the order in the English when you transcribe it into logic. Now with the words only if, suppose we have this, P only if Q. This is one of these little tricky things that you just kind of got to remember. That when it says P only if Q, that then becomes P being the antecedent again. So you just read it from left to right. So P only if Q is interpreted as P arrow Q. All right, so now like the thing to notice is this. There's three cases of the way that an if-then statement can be stated in English. Sometimes it's stated in this very ordinary way, which is the most kind of normal. If I run, then I will sweat. So we know that the if part is P because it comes right after the word if. On the other hand, I'll hurt my knee if I fall off my bike. The word if occurring in the middle means that the thing following it is treated as the antecedent. So if I fall off my bike, then I'll hurt my knee. It doesn't work the other way around, right? Like hurting my knee doesn't cause me to fall off the bike. So I'll hurt my knee if I fall off the bike, or provided that I fall off the bike, or given that I fall off the bike. But if it's P only if Q, it's treated the same as this guy here. The word if is in the middle, but because only is to the left, we just transcribe it as left to right, P arrow Q. So I will teach this lesson only if I get paid. Only if I get paid. That means if I'm teaching it, then I'm getting paid. So just keeping the order of P and Q accurate and consistent with the logic of the English expression. Okay. Now, with all of that in place, I think we're good to start talking about some of the problems in the practice set. So I'm going to go over a bunch of these with you guys, and this will give us the experience that we need to do well on the upcoming next homework, which deals with a lot of these. So here's what I want to do, actually. Let me quickly try and open a different window on my own browser, and let's see here. Okay, so like I'm putting this here in the chat. If you click on that, that's a link, right? And it'll just take you straight to a Zoom meeting. So I want to switch it up the format and get into Zoom so that I can share my screen and go over some more of these practice problems with you guys. So 1 second though, before I do that, I have to pull one more document up from my browser. Okay. Cool. So yeah, how about that? Are you guys all with me? Ready to switch over to Zoom, and we'll end this live stream for now, and then we'll do some practice problems on Zoom using the shared screen format. Okay, so can you guys see that link right there? Good. I'm going to leave this meeting going for just a half second while I start the Zoom meeting to make sure that everyone's getting in there. Okay, so I see you guys here in the Zoom. I'm going to quickly shut down YouTube. All right, guys, so I'm over on the Zoom meeting. I'm going to end this stream and just open up your Zoom using this link. Everybody should see it. Hopefully you do see it and you're able to go straight over there. Let me check on the numbers in the Zoom meeting really quick. Okay, yeah, we're good to go. So I'm switching over. Thanks. We'll be right there.